What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven here with your afternoon snap, and today's community battle is the Express checkout line. The total energy of the cards in your starting deck has to be 28 power or less. And for that, I figured we would check out Scream, because I think that move could be a good strategy for this. So I want to get one step ahead of the metagame here. And we are just barely under the requirements with a total of 27 energy, I believe, in this deck, if I did the math correctly. Let's go for, we can Hydra Stomper over in Kiln. Let's go for a Craven right here. So a little bit of a Scream package, mostly just because Kingpin is also like a pretty cheap card. Oh, that is a bummer. Spider-Ham can pack a punch. Nova is kind of crazy. I did kind of consider that Killmonger could be an interesting card to play in this game mode. I am only playing Batroc, so maybe I should actually throw in Killmonger instead of Juggernaut, but Juggernaut was the last card. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Grandmaster was the last card in. Yeah, Killmonger over Grandmaster could be good, but yeah, that is a clear win there. But yeah, because we locked them out of Kiln too, but that actually is not that bad for them. They're gonna let us take 2 cubes off them, but that is it. We're gonna hit them with this again, probably lead with the Batroc. I don't want to play the Kingpin until I know where they've already played to, and Batroc is really good alongside the shield. Yeah, I kind of do feel like they might have Killmonger, but why are they leading off on Sunspot then? You know what would be wild? A bunch of like really cheap cards and then Galactus. I think Galactus might be banned. It usually is. Let me see if I can get a confirmation on the ban list here. Strange Academy is pretty good. I think we could snap back. The ban list for this community battle is not Galactus. It's Thanos, makes sense. Kang, they just always ban that one. Arishem definitely makes sense. Kitty Pryde is an interesting one. I don't even think it's the best, but it would be good. High Evolutionary, they just always ban that one too. I do not think that that is necessary. And then, Surge. Surge is also banned. And I said High Evolutionary, right? Yeah. I was thinking about what I wanted to do this turn. I think Kingpin over into this location might start to look a little bit better now because of Strange Academy, and they're tempted to play to Nidavellir to not play for Craven. So, like, either way, I've got my sides covered. And then next turn, we can Polaris and pull Sunspot into Strange Academy. Get my Shrink on. Come get my Shrink on. And then maybe on turn 5, we pump out of Nidavellir. Ooh, Martyr's going to get screamed. Might even get Polaris. And this will bring over the Batroc as well. Oh, wow, they're playing nothing. They are just banking on that Sunspot. Cool, we're doing some neat stuff here. So I think on turn 5, it makes the most sense that they would play to Nidavellir. We could also Juggernaut Strange Academy, but they might be full up. We could also Juggernaut Nidavellir. Honestly, this seems fine. I can't guarantee that we hit the Batroc, but I think the Batroc, well, no, it'll never leap back. We want the Batroc to leap over into nowhere, and then both of these cards will come over into Nidavellir, and then we jug them out of Strange Academy. Sure, seems fine. Got a lot of power over in Nid here, too. Their Martyr is going to be negative power, which will be interesting to see how that moves around on the final turn. And yeah, Batroc's going to move over there. We won the 50-50. Oh, that Hobgoblin is mine. That's going to stay in the Strange Academy, but it might not matter. Everything comes here, so I've got insane power in Nidavellir. They can probably battle for nowhere, and now we just Juggernaut out their Galactus. This is kind of what I thought my opponent might be up to here. Martyr and Sunspot for Prio, and then it is actually a Galactus deck, but we're going to get him here with the Juggernaut. That one is definitely not getting cut. Yeah, Grandmaster could get cut, but I will probably actually switch decks now and try to see what else we can come up with for Express Checkout Community Battle. I knew your Galactus was coming there, buddy, but good effort. Let's go on to game 2. I am sorry, I've played up against this player before. I always forget they emote I am confident because they are confident. That is their name. The fact that this deck comes in so under the requirement, it's 24 total energy, and is just a stock, like, top deck, makes me think that something in this list should have been banned, but we'll try it out here for a game regardless, and honestly, we can snap with a hand like this. We are already set up to make a pretty nice play with a turn 3 beast, or potentially some other things, but probably just a turn 3 beast, bouncing Human Torch and Iron Fist over in Nova Roma. I do think that Beast is probably the card that should be on the ban list because of how many different ways there are to interact with it favorably. But we are going to start with this here. This will lock us out of the bridge, yeah, but then we will just play Beast next turn. The turn after that we'll set up with Iron Fist, Human Torch, Doctor Strange, and Madam Web. We can play all of that on turn 4. Or instead of Madam Web, we could play a Toxin to potentially do it all again. Yeah, that'll be fine, and it's a good time to lock myself out of the bridge. Oh, playing Hawkeye onto the bridge is awkward, but here is a Beast for my opponent, or maybe a Carnage? Makes sense, because that one's castable. All right. Star-Lord, which is exactly why you don't play to X-Mansion because of Guardians. So I like the Frigga here too, but I think we can Frigga and do literally everything that we want and set ourselves up for next turn. So next turn we can play these 3 cards again and then Frigga the Human Torch at that point. We can't play all of these cards again, actually. We can just go... We can save the Doctor Strange for the second run. But that's still pretty gravy, baby. That'll give us 2 16 power torches that we can move around on the final turn with a Doctor Strange and then play a Sage. Yeah, so this one is just... I don't actually mind getting the Human Torch into Brooklyn Bridge either. And locking myself out of Brooklyn Bridge? Is that right? You know what? I think if I'm going to do that, I should just play into Brooklyn Bridge. That'll give me more room to make other plays next turn, I think. Because otherwise, I've got, like, almost full up slots in the other locations. So let's go for this. Now I could even potentially weave in a Ghost Spider. What do they got? A Venom. This does kind of imply Killmonger. And we don't toss priority. We take priority here. Okay. This could get a little dicey then. If they simply have Killmonger, they will win. They could play Killmonger here fairly effectively. Probably want to keep this Human Torch where it's at. Actually, I can't really. Oh, I can. I can play Ghost Spider. So I can play wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And just play this as well. All right, lose to Killmonger. Let's do it, baby. I do think Killmonger is a solid card for this game mode. Them not playing to the bridge still kind of implies Killmonger, because Killmonger just straight up wins the bridge too. Let's see if they've got it. Maybe I will need to try destroy Rocket Raccoon. If they're playing Rocket Raccoon as well as Hawkeye, then I don't put them on Killmonger, especially not a final play of Killmonger. You can have your Iron Patriot discount. We'll take the 8 cubes. Cool, cool. All right, now I got to come up with a third deck. I do think that there's a lot of different options for this format. I am curious if we could get something like this down a little bit. The curve is pretty low, right? Because we have some pretty low cards, but you can't play Surge, that's banned. Specifically, I think Merlin and Hawkeye seem pretty reasonable in the format. Sentry and Annihilus, that's 9. Agamotto, that's 14. So that's half your deck. I mean, how much is this? The 0 is certainly going to be helping here, right? So this is 10, 13, 16 plus 14. So that puts us at 30. So we are quite close. I do think Agamotto is like a pretty important part of the deck. We would have to cut Surge as well. Let's actually do it this way. How many slots do I have left? This is 9 plus 10 plus 5, so that's 24. So if I threw in a Killmonger, I could throw in a 1-drop. It's not necessarily synergistic, but I do think Killmonger is pretty good in this game mode, and this deck is not really playing... I mean, we've got the Hawkeye arrows. What does the auto deck recommend? Not Agamotto? Oh yeah, Surge, of course. So I'm looking for a 1-cost card that can give multiple on reveals. So like the one that gives you a 2. I am thinking about... Oh, Elektra's interesting too. Oh, what if we just go Elektra? That's actually kind of cool. So I was thinking... Yeah, no, I like this. Oh, Loki's not banned. I don't want to do that, but they always ban Loki, and they're not. I was thinking Maria Hill. This is probably fine, though. Let's give this a shot. I think it's got a lot of good stuff in it, so let's see what we can do. We can give someone the Hood this game if we don't draw the Killmonger. And low on space, it's kind of reasonable to try to junk someone out. Seems like it could be a mirror match here. No. I mean, they could just be playing the Hood, right? I'm going to go Hawkeye into Asgard, I think. I was thinking, like, I don't really want to fill my hand with Merlin spells, but we're about to fill it with arrows, so, like, I don't know what the difference is. But I kind of just want as many chances as I can to try to find Acid Arrow early, because space is going to be at a premium this game. So here we could do something like this, which puts us out of range of Shang-Chi, and gives them an even smaller Hood. They have Prio here. It looks like a bounce deck, to be sure. But, like, you bounce the monster, you're kind of in trouble anyways. So let's try this. I was thinking, yeah, giving them the Hood after they had bounced would not be terrible. Give them a -4 card along with their Toxin. I've got the Killmonger now anyways, so not super important. Now I guess I just do Merlin. I don't know if I should have yellow jacketed the shield so that I could have Annied it too. There's a chance that was the move. But I think we're just going to hope to hit a Polymorph or a Once in Future to get rid of these. They are sinking down in Monster Island, but we are so low on space, like... What are they going to do? I guess if they can bounce these, then they might have a play. But they've got a full hand, so I'm not even sure about their ability to bounce these things. Does this work? I think so. I think this brings Werewolf over into Asgard. And does it keep me losing priority? Not sure, but we'll try it. Final turn, I guess my plan is just Killmonger. At which point, the Demon is better than Werewolf by Night. So let's just Polymorph here. Hope to hit another Polymorph potentially on this shield. And I don't even know if we can Killmonger. Because I think that... they have the Falcon. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit... Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Well, they also have Prio, for sure. So if their total power here is 22 and mine is 21, And then my power here is 9. So if we lose both locations, can we win the game? Not quite. All right, let's try game 2. I think with a little bit more space, this deck can definitely play around and have some more fun with Merlin and Hawkeye. Because that one was a little constricted. And constriction is good in like a junk strategy. So, could just be wrong. But I feel like this is a reasonable deck. Black Swan's fun. You wouldn't think that they would need it because you'd think that their curve would be pretty low. But this does let them go even crazier and play like Hit Monkey on the final turn for sure. Wow, we might have another location here with Mirror Dimension. Let's certainly hold the Omniversal Presence. Means that we don't draw, so let's play this out. Omniversal Presence plus Mirror Dimension gives us a lot of control over what's going on in this game. They keep getting me with the dang raccoon. Did not have to play the arrow there. Okay, we are getting energy regardless of how we split it. That is totally fine. I think I like this. Gives us a bunch of energy for next turn. Enough to play Annihilus. Let's snap. We're going to be able to play Annihilus next turn regardless because of Mirror Dimension. But we'll be able to play all of our spells this game too, which is the important part. Cool, cool. I actually have not played this deck yet. So I don't know all of the idiosyncrasies, if the shield is like mostly in here so that you can yellow jacket it and pass it over. It seems reasonable to me. They have the Hood. They could be lining up for a Beast this turn, but they have Prio, which is good. So they could do stuff, and then we could send this over. And we have 2 Omniversal Presences. And we draw the Pim arrow again as well. I think I like this. This. No. This will work, right? Because I don't have to chance that. I do believe that that's how it works. Looks good to me. And then we're setting up either of these locations as Shadow King locations without priority on the final turn. Oh, it's not even the final turn. Wow, we just have 11 energy this turn. Silly me to think my 11 energy turn is the final turn. Hollow will destroy my Hawkeye Cape Bishop. And my Merlin because of the Bifrost. Which way are cards going? To the right. No. These will both not destroy each other, because this will be a tie. Oh no, not all of their stuff moves over. Okay, but they are junked out of Tink in a way that looks difficult for them to get out of it. And we can win this location here easily with a skip and a jump from the Wolf with Shadow King. So I don't even think we need to play this turn. We could play Pim Arrow. That doesn't seem like it'll do anything bad. They've already played their Falcon. I mean, what could I draw here that would be awkward? If I draw Sentry, I can just go Sentry, Shadow King. If I draw anything else, almost, I can play it. If I draw, like, Killmonger. I don't even want to draw Killmonger, because I have him dead to rights in other scenarios here. So that feels like it would be a little bit of a cop-out. Alright, yeah, we get the Sentry. So you have to play Sentry first. So it's not really doing anything. And then I can play Shadow King. Or, because I'm never caring about these points... Okay, yeah, they're just going to retreat. Good play by my opponent. They saw what I was doing there. I mean, I literally already won these 2 locations. I did not have to do anything. All I had to do was move over the werewolf, and it was a 1 game. So it's a good retreat. Wish we could have gotten 8, but a little too telegraphed in that capacity. We'll stick with it, and I think we could play the Hood. They've seen the Annihilus now. At least our Annihilus got 4 cubes. That's good. I'm going to hang on to the Hood and just see what we draw next turn. It could be a punish if we draw Merlin or Hawkeye. If we draw Sam, I feel good about this, though. All right, and Sakaar kind of makes it all fine, too. That certainly makes it fine. We avoided their rocket for the first time. I just want to put this werewolf into play. I'll just play nothing. Who cares? Lose my Shadow King and tell them about my Shadow King, which is like kind of 2 daggers in 1, to be totally honest. This is going to give us a card. Stark Tower could give us some points. Oh, wow. Now I've got 2 cards I want to play in the same dang turn. My opponent has Prio, so I can't Electra here. I could have done that last turn just because Rocket Raccoon's good, but if they're missing on the Rocket Raccoon, I don't know if I have to sweat it. Move into here turn 4. Move it out turn 5, miss the Stark Tower bonus, and then move it back in turn 6. Or just like move it in once and keep it. So I could play this next turn. Alright, I'm going to play Sam Wilson next turn then. You know what? We could play it now and potentially Yellow Jacket it. I'm going to hang on to the Hood here still. Because next turn I think we're going Werewolf Hood. And I want some cards that can trigger this. Another Sakaar, eh? Yeah. So for now, let's do this. Let's get the Hood. It won't really be alone in the location for long. Because one of these cards is going to get played here, but I'll play for the chance to Viper and give them the Hood. I think that that's reasonable. And then next turn, we are incentivized to get some stuff into Stark Tower, but probably not the Wolf. So that's an interesting little puzzle. Maybe we'll have the Wolf bounce in and bounce out. Demon, not great. 50-50 to kill their Demon now, though. Send over Viper. Yeah, okay, so I think we have to Yellow Jacket, Viper, Merlin. I think that's literally the only play. It's still +1 to keep the shield here. The only other thing that I'm thinking is if we move the shield out, we can move Merlin in. There's some incentive to do that. Actually, yeah, a lot of incentive to do that. And this keeps Werewolf over here at the end of turn. We can move the shield back in next turn. And we have Electra. We haven't snapped. My opponent has Black Swan, and they're going to Nico Demon a Hood. So that is now a pretty good location for me to Electra. Oh, but it's also, I'm also giving them a Hood there this turn. So maybe we don't Electra them because we have them junked out, and we can probably win that location another way. Electra is like a 75% chance to win Sakaar, but not guaranteed, which is really interesting. So we can do this, 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 and that seems fantastic. Sure, maybe we hit the hood, but maybe that would be pretty funny too. I don't know if they activated Black Swan. And they're only playing 3 cards. They're keeping a card in hand here. Oh my goodness gracious. We hit the one terrible card. They're going to beat me over in Stark Tower. Wait, Werewolf's going to jump back into Sakaar. Okay, now do we win this center location? If we win center, there is a chance. Because they're going to win Stark Tower. No, that's their hit monkey. Yeah. Okay, that one was a bummer. Okay, they did activate Black Swan. Dang, we hit the 75%er and also got a crazy one here with Hercules. Or we didn't hit the 75%er, we hit the 25%er. But now me and my opponent both know about a lot of each other's tricks. I mean, I imagined Hitmonkey was in the deck. I do not think that they know about the Killmonger yet, though, actually. Actually, that could be a pretty big game. Yeah, Yellow Jacket's just cool in this deck as a way to dump cards from your hand so that you don't fill it up for Merlin and Kate Bishop. That's an interesting angle, because I'm thinking we've got a pretty full hand right now. Certainly going to hang on to the Yellow Jacket here. Even if we hit like a Triskelion or something, like we get punished if we hit Nova Roma, where we just like draw a card, and then it would have to be the one where you draw 2 cards though. So this is a little bit dicey because I can't Killmonger, and I might not be able to appropriately Annihilus, but I think it's going to be all right. And I think we actually play something like this. This is wacky. Next turn, I'm just playing Sentry. Let's get in it for 4 for sure. I don't need to play the Yellow Jacket now. No, because I'm going to get the Demon and the spell. I do need to play the Yellow Jacket. I almost could see playing once in future. So I'm going to have the Demon, the spell, the card for next turn. Yeah, I just need to get this out of my hand so that I can potentially hit a Polymorph off Merlin since I'm spending all of my energy the next 2 turns. Okay, Silver Sable's a snappable. But if it hits Shadow King, that's fine. Oh, it's Joaquin Torres Onslaught Citadel. Wow. Why do I not have my Sasquatch reacts? That is actually tilting. Come on, y'all. All right, so it hops onto an Electra. I don't think that that is really going to be an issue. Probably play Sentry here. This certainly represents Annihilus. Oh, that's not going to be an issue at all. Wait, can I... Oh, I really need the energy. The extra energy, and I could go Electra plus Annihilus on the final turn. If I hit Polymorph, we could potentially make that play. But as for now, I have to play Annihilus next turn so that I can make plays on the final turn. Now, let's not forget I also have access to Killmonger here. So we're not doing that bad. I can also Omniversal Presence Wakanda plus Killmonger. Electra plus Killmonger, just not a combo. And we are simply looking for a Shadow King here. My opponent has Prio, so they're either keeping this location as is, at which point we win it 11-10. I think we just play this. I love the cuteness of Electring and then sending over Electra. But I think this is just going to be a more straightforward play. I do see the Polymorph here, though. Alright, I'm willing to try it then. Is this a bounce right here? Is this a beast right here? But then I can't play Killmonger too. You know what? I think that they will fill up Wakanda this turn. That's what I'm going to play around. They did not. They went Demon Beast. Demon Beast. Interesting. Interesting. It does seem like we win center with a play like this. If we play Killmonger, we have exactly 10 here, but they have a lot less. Oh, we got Pryde. How did we manage that one, No Lux? Omniversal Presence on Merlin. Annihilus. Or on Wakanda, I mean. I don't even need that. I'm sure they have a reasonable play here. We know they have got a huge hit monkey. But we are playing for Onslaught Citadel. Sam's shield can't be destroyed. We're going to lose on differential to a big arse monkey. Well, I outplayed myself with this one. Sorry about that. This is 29. 1 energy over, but you don't really have to play Moon Girl. And you could instead play either Gambit or Grandmaster. I don't know which of those I want more. I think I want Grandmaster more. Yeah, let's throw that in. This might not be the most innovative deck for the format, considering this is a list that people genuinely play, but I think that that's fine, just to be able to show off different decks with a style of tournament like this. Our Lady of Saints, eh? It's kind of interesting with Frigga. Don't think I'm willing to return the snap here just yet, though. If we hit like Colleen Wing, that's probably pretty solid. And if we hit Dakin, we can make a bunch of Maru Masa shards. But I'm not really sure how the Grandmaster build of Dakin works. Yeah, not yet, my friend. Yeah. Well, my opponent is also playing a top tier deck. Sanctum Sanctorum. I think this one actually will just be a retreat. So I guess what I need to do is Frigga the Dakin, but it's going to get transformed into a symbiote, which is really awkward. But if I Frigga it, then I can still probably find a chance to copy it. Alright, I think this can actually work out now with this bullseye draw. Sure. I could keep the score, and I'm just worried about my hand running out of room. But you know what? I think I'd rather keep the Scorn and not draw anything else. Next turn I play Frigga Morb. Final turn I play Dakin plus Grandmaster. Yeah, I don't want to run out of room in Wakanda either, which I'm like slightly worried about. I think this will actually be a pretty good showing for Grandmaster, just how this all works on the curve. Yeah, because Moon Girl would be too expensive for a game like this. Alright, kind of getting sold on Grandmaster here. I maybe hit the nut draw, but still. Morb goes here to protect against Bullseye, which they're certainly not playing. Next turn I go Grandmaster, Dakin, and that's probably it. And then I discard 3 Maru Masa shards to Bullseye. Falcon for the Iron Fist again. If this is just a differential game, because they do not... Yeah, I was going to say, they'll have to have Madam Web at some point here, right? Ooh, Blade is a good pickup, because I could either play it Or I could discard it to Bullseye. So if I discard it to Bullseye, it's 2 points. If I play it, it's 5 points. Looks good. It'll discard the Scorn. And this seems like a lot of points. These are going to double up to 8, then 16, then 32. Potentially even getting Scorned in the process. And then I Scorn again at the end. Yeah, have to Scorn at the end, unfortunately. But yeah, 3 Muramasa shards, a Morbius. This looks good. The Human Torch is a lot of points. They don't put any into Sanctorum. So this is a differential game here. Dagger is going to merge all of those into a big symbiote, which I will not be able to do anything about. Oh, and then Doctor Strange is going to bring it back over into Wakanda. Wonder if they had slightly better ordering potential there if they had just moved around the Human Torch, considering this is a differential game. That may have been better for them. But I don't think it's... Well, yeah, no, it could matter. They could have an additional, like, 16 points or something in all of this. I think this is going to be enough. Yeah, I said 32 power Dakins, didn't I? They have 33 points on the board. That's a GG, baby. That is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.